The last emperor of China was Aisin-Gioro Puyi, whose reign name was Xiantong. He was the 11th emperor of the Qing Dynasty and the final feudal monarch in Chinese history. On February 7, 1906, Puyi was born in Prince Chun's mansion in Beijing. Puyi was born into the Aisin-Gioro clan, the ruling family of the Qing Dynasty. His mother, Yulan, was the daughter of a high-ranking Manchu official. Puyi's uncle, the Guangxu Emperor, was childless and in poor health. Empress Dowager Cixi, the de facto ruler of China, needed an heir to secure the dynasty's future. As the nephew of the Guangxu Emperor, Puyi had a legitimate claim. The Qing dynasty was collapsing, and Cixi hoped a new emperor would stabilize the throne. On November 13, 1908, just one day before the Guangxu Emperor's death, Cixi ordered Puyi to be taken from his parents and raised in the Forbidden City as the next emperor. On a cold winter night in November 1908, the palace suddenly sent a large group of eunuchs to Prince Chun's mansion. Accompanied by his father and wet nurse, a half-asleep child was carried into the palace. This child was Puyi, who was less than 3 years old at the time. On December 2, 1908, at just 2 years old, a terrified toddler Puyi was carried to the Hall of Supreme Harmony and placed on the dragon throne for his coronation. The ceremony was chaotic. Puyi cried, and his father, Prince Chun, tried to comfort him by whispering, "It'll be over soon, it'll be over soon." He was given the reign name Xiantong, meaning proclamation of unity. His wet nurse, Wang Lianshou, was the only comforting figure in his early palace life. His biological mother, Yulan, was devastated and reportedly cried for days. As a child emperor, Puyi had no freedom. He was confined to the Forbidden City, surrounded by eunuchs and tutors but isolated from the outside world. He had a strict education. He studied Confucian classics, Manchu language, and imperial rituals, but had little real power. Eunuchs and officials controlled him, spoiling him with luxuries while neglecting his emotional needs. In 1911, the Xinhai Revolution broke out, overthrowing the Qing dynasty. On February 12, 1912, the 6-year-old Puyi was forced to abdicate under the Articles of Favorable Treatment, which allowed him to keep his title, live in the Forbidden City, and receive an annual allowance. Puyi's adoptive mother, Empress Dowager Longyu, issued the Edict of Abdication on his behalf, marking the fall of the Qing dynasty and the end of over 2,000 years of feudal rule in China. He didn't even understand what abdication meant. Court officials simply told him to sign the decree. Though no longer ruling China, Puyi remained a symbolic emperor inside the Forbidden City. In 1917, warlord Zhang Sun launched the Manchu Restoration, reinstating Puyi as emperor, but the attempt collapsed after just 12 days. In 1919, Sir Reginald Fleming Johnston served as the English tutor and advisor to Puyi. Johnston was a British diplomat and academic who played a significant role in shaping Puyi's understanding of Western culture and knowledge. Johnston became one of the few people Puyi trusted. Puyi is known in the West as Henry Puyi. He adopted the name Henry with the help of his English teacher. In 1924, Feng Yuxiang, a Chinese warlord, led a military campaign that resulted in the expulsion of Puyi from the Forbidden City in Beijing. At age 18, he became an ordinary exile overnight. This event marked a significant moment in the transition from imperial rule to a republic in China. After being expelled from the Forbidden City, Puyi lived in Tianjin's foreign concessions, where Japanese agents courted him, promising to restore him as emperor. Puyi, desperate to regain power, agreed to cooperate. On September 18, 1931, Japanese Guangdong Army officers secretly planted explosives on a section of the South Manchuria Railway, owned by Japan. They blamed Chinese saboteurs as a pretext to invade Manchuria. Within months, Japan occupied all of northeast China. After the 1931 Manchurian incident, Japan occupied northeast China and installed Puyi as the chief executive of the puppet state of Manchukuo. In 1934, he was declared emperor. On September 2, 1945, World War II officially ended in Asia with the surrender of Japan. After Japan's defeat in 1945, Puyi was captured by the Soviet Red Army and later repatriated to China. In 1950, Puyi was handed over to the new Chinese government and underwent ideological reform at the Fushun War Criminals Management Center. In 1959, he was among the first batch of pardoned war criminals and later worked in Beijing as a historical archivist, writing his autobiography From Emperor to Citizen. On October 17, 1967, Puyi died of uremia in Beijing at the age of 61. Puyi had 5 wives, Wanrong, Wenxiu, Tan Yuling, Li Yuqin, and Li Shuxian, but he had no children. Puyi grew up spoiled yet powerless, with no real parenting or normal childhood. He later wrote in his autobiography, "I was raised to believe I was a god, but outside the palace, I was nothing."